All right, Wanda, we're here with Jim. Debbie is here, and we're going to go do the walkthrough.
Hi,
and I'm going to
Wanda.
take
We
the
had a
video.
conversation on the phone, and I appreciate that conversation earlier. And thanks for responding to the email for the standard home inspection agreement. So I've got the report complete. I should say the inspection completed. I've got a summary of the report completed. I'm going to give a written copy to, Debbie here, and to Sarah. And then I'll email that summary over to you when I get back to the office in about an hour. And then I'll complete the report sometime tonight and send it over before first thing in the morning. So the completed report will just detail that summary. There'll be some things added to the summary, and it'll detail things in color with photos so it's easier to understand. So as a general overview, I'd have to say that I didn't find anything really super bad or any one single thing that's really bad and expensive repair. You asked that earlier, but I've got kind of a long list of some plumbing things and electrical things that should be corrected. So in a home of this age, and I'm not saying a bad thing, the homes were built in the 60s, actually are some of the best built homes that we see in this area of the country. So I think this house is a good house. It just has kind of a laundry list of things that should be repaired. So just as an example of safety concerns, and when I say safety, I don't mean it's going to kill anybody, but we'd like to have a handrail on the stairs here. Obviously, there's not one here. So when older folks are coming up and down the stairs, something to hang on to. The stairway railing there. Okay. And just as a point of minor concern, we have some wood rot here on the railing of the deck on the front here. But the rest of the deck is weathering as well. I don't see any extreme damage on the decking or the structural components here. Okay, we got to post the address in the front of the house for safety so emergency vehicles can identify us just in case. Okay, and out on the sidewalks, I don't think we can see one from here, but there are some sunken raised areas that are higher than an inch, and once they are higher than an inch, there's some on the driveway and a few on the sidewalks. It could be a tripping hazard if we're not looking down and that's raised like that, we could trip on that. Okay, so item for concern there. Okay. All right, what a cool house though, with the garage having been integrated into the house, and then the double garage put in the back there. So here there's no storm door. That's not a deficiency. It's just
something to note.
Reminder. I recommend storm doors for additional weatherproofing. Okay. Coming up the stairs here, sturdy handrails for safety, and balusters, guards here. Now in 1965, these railings were considered high enough. These days, if you build a new house, you'd have to have your railings 36 inches high up to here. So you do have some grandfather's rights. I just put comments in the report so you know the differences between 1965 building and 2020 building. We don't expect this house to be up to current code, but we just mention those things so we're safe, okay? So we understand them, so they're here, okay? So we've got adequate vents and return air vents in a lot of the areas of the rooms here, okay? I checked all the outlets with an outlet tester. I do have some outlets. I've got everything marked. You'll see some stickers all around the house as we go. So with regard to a home of this age, this house was bubbling on the year that they changed from fuse panels and two-prong outlets, if you know what I mean. In 65 and 66 is when they made the change to three-prong outlets and breaker panels. So all the outlets in the house were grounded except one in the basement. So I'm thinking possibly whoever put that outlet, wired it and put it in, their ground line might have popped off that when they pushed it back in. So all the other outlets in the house are grounded. Now in 1991, it came in the codes that we put in GFCI outlets in the bathrooms and kitchens by open water sources like sinks. They've done that in some areas and not in others. We just recommend that for safety, okay? Okay, coming through here, ceiling fans, lights are all functional. Looking above for possible signs of moisture invasion, okay? Windows, doors, these are newer windows. They're thermopane or sealed windows, double pane windows for energy efficiency. There's a few windows that have fogging on them and broken seals, they say. So it's just kind of it isn't really a deficiency by definition as far as it isn't leaking air, it isn't cracked, but it's just the argon gas has escaped and there's moisture between the panes and fogging. Okay, so through here we have one of the fog windows. You can see right here. Okay. So out here on the deck, I guess we might as well just go out. We have the incoming electrical lines are really low right here. You can see they're only about 7 feet from the deck. So these should really be 10 feet from any walking path, okay? In the old days, they said 8 feet. Nowadays, it's 10 feet. But the reason is the deck wasn't here at first, okay? So once they put the deck on, it made the lines lower to the walking surface. So FYI, you really want to be careful. I think it could be raised just by, you see over the pole there? If they got OPPD to pull the line tighter, it would raise this, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
It may raise
It would raise it into the branches, though.
It would, yeah. And you know, I went ahead and put in the report that the lines are touching the branches. They're really not, but they're gonna, in just a few weeks, those branches are gonna grow and be touching the lines. So I just put it in there because, yeah, if OPD does do that, but we just always want to keep the as you said, Sarah, the tree branches trimmed away from our electrical lines, okay?
Okay.
Okay, there's a little bit of moisture damage on the siding out here.
Yep.
If you can see that. Right there and right there, not a super bad thing. I didn't see much. That was.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the only place I saw it. Did you see it anywhere else? Or
No,
just...
that was pretty much it. Yeah.
It's not bad.
So we got plumbing vents up there. You got a vent from the stove top there. That's the B vent for the water heater right there, and the electrical up here. The roof's only 2 years old, so it's properly installed with regard to drip edge and ice shield. It should have a 30-year life rating. All good there. Air conditioner tested fine. All's good with that.
Great.
Okay. And some of these steps are really high. Just be careful if you step down here. But steps are required to be less than 8 inches, 7 3/4. So you can see this is about an 11-inch step.
Okay.
So if we're not used to, and we're not used to doing that, so if we walk up here and not looking, we would expect an 8-inch step and we would trip. So FYI, be careful on that. Okay. Okay. Weather covers on the outlets here. All good there. Yeah, just to let you know, Wanda, I didn't see any one thing that's a really expensive or bad thing, but there's just kind of a long laundry list. Excuse me for a second. Kind of a long laundry list of these things that I've brought up so far. You know, they're all simple, inexpensive corrections. I don't know if you have to do all of them. I do the plumbing and the electrical things that I'm going to talk about. That's what I would do. Okay? So, here to the garage, it wasn't required in 1965 that you have a fire-rated door to the garage. Well, this is actually a solid core door, but they put a window in it. So it isn't a fire-rated door by virtue of the window glass being there. That's just not a big deal. I just have a standards of practice I have to follow and write that up. And right outside, you can see there's no weather cover on that outlet.
That looks like it's broken out.
Yeah, it's a little door.
That's a $5 fix. Okay, out here, girls, do you see the daylight at the top of the door? That door is not closing all the way. It needs to be adjusted. If you go outside, you can see there's a big gap there. So it's just not closing all the way. It needs to be adjusted.
Okay.
And this step here is just loose stacked block.
Yep. I noted that on the video the first time I was in here.
So if you take PL400 glue and glue those all in place, we'd say that's okay because it's secure. Okay.
Yep.
Cracks in the floor, not a big deal. Just seal those bad boys up. Now here we have, this is considered the living area of the home, okay? In here. So you can see they've cut a hole in the wall here, and there's openings here. So we're not supposed to have that. It, first of all, reduces the fire rating. This should actually be drywall, 5/8 gypsum board. If it is attached to the living area of the home, and it should be sealed. So it isn't going to be hard to put gypsum board or drywall right on top of that, okay, and seal it up. This will have to be remanipulated somehow to get out here so it can be sealed back up. I'm not sure what that goes to.
It looks like it's a shut-off or something.
Well, it is. It's a shut-off, but I was going to say I'm not sure what it goes to.
Oh, yeah.
Is what I meant to say, yeah. It's a water shut-off is what it is, yeah. You do have a sub-panel out here, and there's a sub-panel and a main electrical panel in the basement. There's